اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما والحقنا بعبادك الصالحين. أما بعد، يروي الإمام مسلم والإمام البخاري كل في صحيحه بسند صحيح في الحديث المتفق على صحته عن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه قال. Today's hadith is a very famous hadith and it's agreed upon, and it's been narrated multiple times from this place. But the reason why it's a sunnah actually to repeat the hadith, because the Prophet ﷺ used to repeat the same thing. Important pieces of information, used to repeat them all the time, because that's what you should pay attention to and focus on. Every time you see something that's been repeated multiple times in the Quran or in the Sunnah, then underline that area or highlight it, whatever you prefer, because this is important and one should pay attention to. So today's hadith is very famous, but I would like to talk about it a little bit. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ليس الشديد بالسرعة إنما الشديد من ملك نفسه عند الغضب. That the Prophet ﷺ is saying that a tough man or a woman, for this matter, a tough person, a strong person, is not the person who's the strongest in wrestling or in boxing, those who can take out their opponent the most. This is not the true measure of strength in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But a strong person is the person who can control their emotions when they're in the state of anger. The Prophet ﷺ did this a lot. He would ask the Sahaba about a term that on the face of it everyone knows what it is. And there are a few hadith of this type. When he asked about man al-muflis and man al-bakhil, he would ask them about certain terms that it's agreed upon, they know, but they quickly learned that this is not what he's looking for. He's looking for a deeper, a more spiritual definition of the word. At that time, in a lot of cultures, we still have this. It's not new. That the strong person is a muscular person. Is a person who has the most physical strength, right? In the eyes of everyone. That's how we describe people, right? But this is, in the eyes of Allah, this is not the case. The strong person is really the person who's the most ethical, who can control their whims and desires and emotions and all these negative feelings that you develop when you're in a line and someone cuts, doesn't even look at you. It's your right. You have the right to actually tell them off and do all that, but you decide to control it, and it burns so much, right? Or you're driving and someone cuts you off in the street and it burns. You really want to roll down and give them a piece of your mind, right? But that's the time when you show your true Muslim nature. This is the embodiment of this hadith, or at least one of the meanings of it. That a strong person is a person who will control themselves. Are you gonna take what's yours, or are you gonna do da'wah with your character? You pick. That's exactly what it is. It's not only controlling your emotions in the state of anger, but also in the state when something you really want, but you know you can't have, but you really want it because you need it. Or there's something you really want to look at because it's very strong. My younger brothers will understand that the most, right? You really want to look at it, but it's very tempting. It's to resist temptation. This is what it is, basically. This is what it is, and that's the core, the soul of Islam. Is not to look at the superficial aspect of life, but always look for a deeper meaning to it. And the Prophet ﷺ, again and again in a lot of hadith did that. He did that all the time. He would ask, Man al-muflis عندكم? Who's the broke person? And he would give you, we know what a broke person is, but he gave a whole different definition to it. Make kind of like a mental tickling, excuse me. Make them think of a deeper meaning to it. And at the time, this is what they thought. That the strong person was, let's wrestle and see who's strongest. That's the community at the time. when the Prophet ﷺ was sent. This is the type of community they had. Very bullying type of community. You know, the strong will eat the weak. And if you're rich, then you enslave everyone. And that's how. And that's not only peculiar to the Arabs at that time. We still have it today. We still have these diseases today. We still have. It's there. Maybe they're sugar coated. Maybe they're named differently. They're named differently, right? We just call it differently. But it is that. And so the Prophet ﷺ is telling you, no, this is not how you do it. Don't be. See, the Prophet ﷺ, this is a challenge. Give me a hadith, one hadith that the Prophet ﷺ gave any compliment to life, anything positive about life. He never did. He never did. He never said, wow, this man, look at all the houses he's got, or this beautiful car, or that. Never, really. And he didn't do that out of spite. He didn't do that out of jealousy. He just did not see it. He just did not see the value in it. It was genuine, not like me and you where we pretend, okay, I would love to have that car, but I'm going to pretend I don't care, right? We do that, and that's okay, because it takes, but he genuinely did not feel, did not even see it, didn't even exist in his eyes, right? So he always looked at it deeper. And Islam came to do that, to look at what's good in any community and establish it and reinforce it and encourage it and build, and look at what is negative in the community and change it. That's what you have to do. You can't just see, you're not a status quo person. You can't just, okay, well, that's the way it is. Let's just live with everyone else. This is what the non-believers said in the Quran. They said, well, this is the way we found our ancestors, so we're just going to go by it. That's all we have to do. We don't look at it that way. So I'd like to thank you for listening. يروي الإمامان البخاري ومسلم كلهم في صحيحيهما بسند صحيح عن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ليس الشديد بالصرعة إنما الشديد من ملك نفسه عند الغضب. وصلى الله على حبيبنا وسيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم.